Rainy Seattle. I don't want to be someone that you're settling for. I don't want to be someone that anyone settles for. You make millions of decisions that mean nothing, and then one day, your order takes out, and it changes your life. Sleepless in Seattle. It is strange that the sunset shows up when it rains, Thornton thought. It has been the 237th day of raining this year in Seattle. Standing outside the top of the Space Needle, Thornton overlooked the view of the city without noise, without an umbrella, but with the sprinkle. It has been 10 years, a decade, he thought, and I miss you so. Honey, why you come up here and don't bring an umbrella? You will have a cold. Katrina, his wife, interrupted his reminiscence. Rushing down the stairs, she clutched a big umbrella in her hand. They got married a couple years ago. Oh, hold on a step, let's get inside the room. Doctor said you couldn't be caught in the rain, Thornton said, holding Katrina's hand, running into the room. How's my little baby? Thornton lowered his head, kissed Katrina's bumped paunch, and rubbed it gently. Katrina has been pregnant over 4 months. We are perfect, dear. Take care of your wet hair first. Katrina softly slapped his head and gave him a towel. Well, that's really a long distance running from the outside to here, Thornton complained while he was using the towel to wipe the sweat and the rainwater on his hair. Not really, fatty boy, Katrina said. You're pained because you weigh too much. Well, maybe, Thornton said. I don't think 220 pounds is too much for a 6 feet guy because it is too much for you. Katrina smiled and retorted him naughtily. All right, you're right, sweetie. He raised his wrist and looked at his watch. The sun has gone. Come on, let's go home and I will cook a good meal for you. He clumsily held Katrina's waist and pushed her to move forward. It was a really charming waist before she conceived. Unlike her massive husband, Katrina was thin. He liked playing tennis with her friends during the weekends, swinging her body, running back and forth on the court, and hit the ball. He, she was uh, she was an accountant of a Starbucks, the very first Starbucks in the world, located at the First Avenue, adjacent to the entrance of the Pike Market. The line of people waiting for buying coffee always extended to the Second Avenue. Traffic was ordinary because drivers wanted to stop by for a cup of coffee. After Katrina was pregnant, she stayed at home and enjoyed her tea time with neighbors in the afternoon, and strolled to home to cook dinner at 4 p.m. every day. Will you walk tomorrow? It's Christmas, Katrina asked, lying on the sofa. Thornton was making chicken noodle soup. I don't have to, sweetie, Thornton sighed. But I pay not much attention to Christmas since I came to America, and it is tough to be a programmer, especially when you are just an Asian. I have received emails that indicated some bugs of my software application during the last couple of days. I haven't gone to my office for a week, so I should revise it as soon as possible. It's okay, darling. I will make a turkey for you. Come back early, okay? Katrina asked him. No problem, my girl. Thornton gave her the soup. It might be a little hot. Be careful. The next morning, Thornton woke up at 7 a.m. He has been used to get up at exactly 7 o'clock in the morning without any alarm for 10 years. Katrina was still enjoying her dream until she was slightly awaked when the sunshine impelled her blanket. Thornton opened the curtain every morning, which was also an action that he had kept doing for a decade. Abnormally, he thought, Today, sunshine beats rain. He put back the umbrella to the closet, heated up a cup of black tea for Katrina, although she fell asleep again, and kissed her cheek. He left home for work then. The weather is so good today. Fulton couldn't hold his mouth while driving. How many weeks has the sunshine not visited Seattle? 3? Listening to a Cantonese radio program, he entered his private office. Fulton opened his office door, threw his bag on the floor. There was a wedding picture on the corner of his table. Its frame had been covered by ashes. Except that there was a computer, which Fulton brought it from Hong Kong 10 years ago. It was more an antique than a working tool, so he barely opened it. Several pencils and scratch papers scattered on the table, together with unread letters. Most of the new letters are junks, so usually Fulton would just glimpse them a few seconds and then threw them one by one. However, one of them attracted his eyeballs in a sudden. It was a large square card, decorated by 2 layers of white and orange shining sheets. Looking at the word "For 10 years later, Fatty Boy" on the cover, Fulton's heart stopped beating. The sunlight permeated the window, and the ashes in the air lightened his desk. His hand was shivering. Finally, his weak voice trembled. Why? Why? Why now? Why? He faltered, with nothing in his mind. He opened it, gasping, and read from the top of the line. Dear Fulton, the fatty guy, do you still get up at 7 every morning? It is Kathy writing to you now. Merry Christmas. Do you still don't like Christmas? I heard that it rains in Seattle, so I deduced that you like rain. We've been separated by the Pacific for a long time. I believe there's almost 10 years, right? Do you miss me? I miss you, fatty boy. Do you still a big fellow now? You said you liked business when we were in college, right? I bet you're a businessman now. I can't imagine more of you. The time we separated has been so long. Thornton stopped to read the rest, lying on his lying on his office chair. Tears slid down to his cheek. He blinked his eyes, trying to stop the teardrop, but he failed. The tear kept spilling out, even though he raised his head to look up the ceiling. He cannot control his emotion. Just today, just for the letter, just at that moment. How can a real man cry like a baby? He was self-mocking, with smile on his face, but sore in his heart. Fulton calmed himself after a while. Kathy. He sighed and began reminding. Kathy. A cute face floated in his mind. Kathy. He knitted and closed eyes, as if taking a time machine flying back to his college period. His college started at year 1997, the year where Hong Kong ran back to the embrace of China. Fulton and Kathy liked sitting on the lawn behind the library of Hong Kong University. Sometimes Fulton would play guitar, and they shook their bodies to follow the rhythm and sang together. He loved playing an old song, Parisian Walkways, because the melody of this song moved his inner heart, almost made him cry. Sometimes in the afternoon, they took nap on the lawn, enjoying the sunshine, although they were always disturbed by the school shuttles or students' parades. Sometimes Kathy would cook wonton noodle soup and they ate together on the lawn. They played basketball, they wandered on the street at Japan, and learn making sushi. They stay up late at library for their finals. They never admitted that they were a couple, but they did love each other. How are you, Kathy? He kept his eyes closed, still smiling. Long time no see. Yes, a voice jumped out in one moment, breaking the dead quiet in the room. The light was opened, although today's sunshine can provide sufficient brightness. Thornton didn't dare to look back, whispering to himself that the voice was illusion. Long time no see, fatty boy. A soft woman voice showed up again, pulling Thornton back to the reality. Hello. He slowly turned his back. He slowly turned his head back. It is already late November now, but sweat bestrewed his forehead and neck, flowing into his shirt, making him hard to breathe. It's already Christmas now, but sweat bestrewed his forehead and neck, flowing into his shirt, making him hard to breathe. When he concentrated his sight, he saw a woman, a real woman. He thought, this must be Kathy, without doubt. I can recognize her even if her face blurs in my mind now. Oh, hello, lady, he said. Good morning. I think you might come to a wrong place because it is a private office that. Are you Mr. Thornton? Lee Thornton? The woman stared at the name card, which was stick on the door, pointed to it. Thornton, I'm Casey, Casey Wong. She was screaming, jumping, and yelling. At that second, her high-heeled shoes transformed to a sneaker. Kathy, Thornton kept nodding his head. Yeah, Kathy, sure I am Thornton. Yes, please sit down, he said, clumsily gave a chair to her and erased the tears. You are here. Well, welcome. Welcome, Seattle, he said, looking down to the floor.